Hi, everybody. Welcome to our virtual town hall meeting here in now September, right, Wendy? Right. And I'm here with our DPW Director, Jack Healy, with our Board of Ed Chairman, Wendy Fallenbach, Superintendent, Dr. Patty Foote, and Assistant Superintendent, Holly Hollander. So thank you guys for coming in. I know we were talking a little bit about it last week, but now school has started. And Jack, can you kind of give everybody a brief update on the actual reconstruction of the high school?
Well, the reconstruction continues, but now it continues at night. They come back 3 to 11 every night, and they're primarily working in the crossover on the 3rd floor in the area where the fire actually occurred. So that's about what they have left to do, and that should go on until the end of September. After that, there'll be a couple odds and ends, putting in some casework periodically. But from now to then, it's business as usual, and we should be done by September 30th.
And Jack, you know, we talked about it a little bit last week, all of us. There's really 3 projects really on this. The one is the reconstruction, then the repair of the roof that Belfour and their subcontractor are doing. Where are we at with the repair of the roof?
The repair of the roof in the area of the fire is probably about 85 to 90% complete. They're able to get some materials in place, and they're finishing that up over the next week or two. So that would be ready for the next phase, which is to start the actual putting the roof on the building.
And then we move on to really what was the very beginning of this whole thing, is putting on the standing seam roof. And where are we in that process?
Well, we've met twice with the bond agent and with the proposed contractor, Greenwood. We've worked out all the logistics, and so the logistics are getting better. We've worked those out. We've been working with Matt Cunningham and the principal Menka at the school. I think we've come to an agreement on where the parking will be and how we'll work all that out. But we're getting close. I'm just waiting for them to literally pull the trigger so we can get started.
Awesome, awesome. And Wendy, Board of Ed just doesn't stop. We still got more stuff to do. So what's happening there?
We have all of our meetings posted for the year. We may add more now that school is open. We're excited, obviously, to move into the fall season. We have all of our meetings posted, and our subcommittees begin their work as we've continued to do. And of course, we've begun our search for a permanent superintendent.
A lot of work.
Yes, it is.
And Dr. Patty Foote, now we're in school. All the schools are open. What's kind of the next steps as we're moving forward with classes?
Well, our next steps are to really make it the best year ever for our students, because they certainly have been impacted by the pandemic and even our return last year. So we're hoping for a very smooth year and getting back to the basics and improving all the services that we have for our students, and hopefully, right, Holly, that they catch up. So that's what we're hoping for, and we're hoping that our bus drivers stay healthy, because we need them to get everyone
Sure
in school.
do.
And we're, if anyone really wants to be a bus driver, we ask you to get in touch with All-Star, because we need substitute drivers so that we can keep the operation going throughout the year, especially during flu season.
And they're an integral part, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And Holly, the website, I know when people were looking to know more about what was going on the school side, there are going to continue to be updates as we continue to move forward during the school year. How's all that going to work?
Well, when we were at the same school at the same time yesterday, which was
Yes.
nice. And I said to you, it's going so seamlessly. Everyone is back. It's like we didn't miss a beat. And I was thinking about what made that happen. And I said to you, it was communication. And so communication is so key. And as I shared with you, even when we didn't have information, we said we don't have information today, but as soon as we do, we're going to share it with you. And I think that was the key to the success of our summer going as smoothly as it did. But more importantly, it really makes the statement that we have to be able to communicate with families in a way that is accessible and is efficient and is timely. And that's something that we're going to continue to do.
Amazing. I love that. And I know Dr. Patty Foote, yesterday when the kids were coming in from the high school, I mean, we were kind of talking to each other. It was normal. I mean, it just seemed like they were, there's nothing that tremendously happened at the high school. Just like, okay, back to school, here it comes,
It was-
first day.
It was just like a normal reopening, which was
Mm.
so refreshing because we haven't really seen that since 2019. So it seemed like they were oblivious to what happened early in July, which was a good thing because we tried to be.
Absolutely.
And as you stated, it was really nice to be alongside you and to welcome and greet our students. And I do think that they were excited to be there, especially to see their friends. I think.
Right, I agree. And Wendy, moving forward now, I know Jack was talking a little bit about parking. I
Right.
know I'm going to be interested as my daughter
Right.
gets her license.
Right.
So,
We know that's a big thing for our
Absolutely,
students.
absolutely.
And we know that our seniors put in for their spaces, and then as our juniors integrate into that possibility, those come in, and we process them as they come in.
Right.
We know that there is parking, and we're working on it, and so we understand the significance of the parking permit for our students.
and I know another thing, not having to do with the reconstruction, but kind of, Wendy, and that's we both served on the turf field
Yes.
committee and the utilization of and have those wonderful fields there. But now there's this new project that we're kind of talking about, and that's bricks for
Oh, yes, yes,
the
for
field.
the turf field,
Yeah.
yes, in which anyone can purchase a brick, and it goes for our fundraising, and we encourage you to look at our website, it's posted, and it took about perhaps 2 years to get this moving along, as everything, rather took a pause over the last 2 years. We've had student involvement on that, and with their opinions and helping us get the project up and going, and along with our facilities and our athletic director. And so we would encourage anyone who would like to purchase a brick and have it installed with whatever they would like. There's some criteria, and the dimensions and things like that are posted. We'd like to see you do that. It'd be great.
Absolutely. I'm going to buy a brick. I think it's great. Please definitely check out the website,
Yeah.
and definitely you can contribute to a brick. It'd be wonderful for not only the high school, but the athletic programs, the fields, and everything there.
It'll
So,
be great.
thank you for
We're
doing that,
excited
Wendy.
for
It's gonna
finally
be
getting that off
outstanding.
and going, so yeah.
And Dr. Pettiford, I know you were visiting all the schools.
Yes.
And how did all that go?
Oh, I think it went amazingly well. Everyone was, just as the high school students were excited
Yeah.
to be back, the staff and the students at each of the schools were really excited to be back, and everyone, in the early days, they just seemed so refreshed, engaged, and really happy to be there. So it's been refreshing.
Outstanding. And Holly, kind of staying on, we've got parent portals. I've seen that as a parent myself. And all the communications we're talking about for not only the parents, but for the students. What's some of the tips now that we're in school, like into now the second day, for parents? What should we be looking now to be doing now that our kids are in school?
Well, I appreciate that, actually. We have curriculum nights coming up, so I would encourage families to come and learn about what's going on during the year for their child. But I'm always happy to speak with families, as I hope the community knows. We'll always work to identify what the concern is and then how to make it better or address it. But it's always going to go back to the school. So I had someone reach out to me with a question, and I'm encouraging families to first talk with the teacher and then work with the building leader, because I'm going to say 98% of anything that needs to be done is going to be handled in that way. You have amazing leaders, amazing teachers who want to do right, on behalf of our children. And then anything that comes our way, I know that Dr. Pattyfoot has been a great support. We will figure it out. We might not know the answer, but we're going to figure it out.
Right.
So I would say ask questions, be involved, and we're here to work together. We're partners.
Absolutely. And, I can't thank you guys enough. Wendy, Board of Ed, Dr. Pattyfoot, Holly, Jack. I mean, everybody just working together to get that school up and running and to just get the schools, the heavy lift themselves, getting them prepared and ready for a more normal year than the last 2 years that we've had. All sorts of different things, hit not only the schools but the community itself. And I just can't thank you guys enough for all of your work and all of your efforts, and just really, as you're saying, coming out kind of a seamless opening, so to
Right.
speak. There's always a little a hiccup here and there, but on the most part, again, can't thank you guys enough
It's
for that.
only day 2, so
I got you.
it feels a little longer, but, it's only day 2, and we still, work with the community, ask for a little bit of patience, but I do know that these meetings have been very helpful. I think that's perhaps, just my opinion, some of the reactions as students came in and they're back to normal. I think getting the message out to the community that we recognize the tragedy that occurred and we are going to go 200% to get back in that building, I think really helped parents understand in the community that it was the intent of all of us involved to make that happen. So it was very helpful.
Okay. And I know you guys are super busy, and I can't thank you for coming here today, but we'll start with you all the way on the end, Holly. Kind of last thoughts as now we're transitioning in, moving forward, kind of last thoughts.
Well, you did the lift in the summer, now it's our job to do the lift. And so we are busy, and meetings and working with teachers, and I've loved being in the schools, getting to know the students, asking their name, what did they do over the summer, but building those relationships. And that's what the schools have been doing, is really building strong relationships. That's really the foundation of our work, as it is with the community as well. So
Outstanding.
we're doing the heavy lift. It's just begun.
Dr. Pattyfoot.
Oh, I would agree. I'd build on what Holly said. We're just beginning the year, and we know we have a lot of work ahead of us, but I think one of the most important things for me is to really live and see the collaboration, the communication, and the partnership with the town, because I did see the video, and the photos on at the beginning of July, and I really couldn't even imagine that we would have staff back, that we would have students back, and that it would feel normal,
Absolutely.
So I'm grateful to the town, really, and to your office and to Mr. Healy, and even our facilities and technology departments, because I really think it demonstrates to everyone when people come together for a common purpose, great things can happen.
Amen. Amen.
So, and I look forward to working with Holly for as long as I'll be here, and the Board of Education, to ensure that we make the most of our year and get our students back on track and, make up for the learning loss that they
Right.
experienced and give them a normalized school year.
That's
So
outstanding.
true.
Wendy?
So true. Just to elaborate on that, we've been given an opportunity where we are now back, and I would hope and encourage parents to get involved, come to our events, really enjoy what the district has to offer. We want to see you. We want you to enjoy and be involved in your children's education. So that's number one. And as we move through the board business, we'll continue with all of our curriculum and our policy changes and our contractual conversations, as well as, of course, our facilities for this coming year. So the work will continue.
Outstanding. Jack?
Well, I think from our standpoint, from the people who worked on the fire restoration, it was nice on Tuesday, to go down and watch the students go in. And we were around, we were doing odds and ends, and this is what we worked hard, we worked with all of you all year for. We really enjoyed seeing the students, even when they asked us where the classroom was. We tried to explain to them we weren't staff, but it's really nice. We're going to be present for a little bit, odds and ends. We're going to finish up the third floor, then we have some casework, and of course, we want to finish the roof restoration and renovation prior to the turn of the year. So we've got things to do, but we're going to start to step back. We'll continue to work with Matt and the facilities group. They're a really good group, and help them as we get the air conditioning, everything up to speed, and turning it over to them.
Outstanding. Mike, do we have any comments?
You not seeing your laptop?
No.
Mary Lewis just says, Mike, sure, Mary Lewis says, good evening, everyone.
Everybody?
Olga says, thank you to all for a smooth school's opening. Olga also says, love the collaboration and one time working together. And Joe Blackman says, great communication.
Outstanding.
Great.
Well, that kind of says it all, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to thank you guys. I know you guys are super busy for coming in, letting the public know again, we've now transitioned into really the start of a wonderful school year. And again, I can't thank you guys enough as we
We're excited.
continue to work together. Absolutely. And I know they're busy, so they're going to jump off, and then we're going to bring the chief in, lieutenant, some other. We're going to talk about school bus safety, right? Make sure people know how to go ahead and if there's not a median, you need to stop at the bus, the red lights of the bus. So come on in, guys. All right, so that was kind of a fast kind of pit stop, so to speak, you know, and the superintendent and Board of Ed chair came in, talked to us a little bit, and now, Chief, we have you and your team. And Chief, if you'd like to introduce your team.
Sure, I'm very proud to introduce the people who get it done. You know, things happen and you wonder how they happen. This is how they happen. Captain Wilcoxon, the second in command at the police department. Our high school SRO Cyan, very important position she holds up at the school. Our lead school security officer, Guy Scarcella, does an excellent job for us at Sarah Noble School. So it is a team effort. Public safety is our overall goal, and we do it as a team. And I always start off, Mayor, you know I always start off by thanking the men and women of the New Milford Police Department for the hard work that they do.
Amen.
And I also always thank the community, because I know that we wouldn't be successful in keeping New Milford as safe as it is without their support. It's so important that we work together with the community. And New Milford is a safe community. And to keep it a safe community, we got to keep moving forward with different ideas. And things like that we do talk about often. You know, we meet often and talk about how we're going to address different issues that are important within the community.
And I know, Chief, as this virtual town hall meeting, we're talking about school, the opening of school.
Yes.
You know, the really the yeoman's job that everybody did. I know, Chief, you were there when we
Right.
had the fire, and
Unbelievable.
you know how just massive an undertaking that was. So now school is opened, and now we're kind of pivoting a little bit for parents of interest, myself included.
Sure.
Right. So we want to make sure to keep our kids safe. So I know
Right.
some of the things that we've talked about, Chief, is having our SROs there,
Right.
and also what's our other
We're
type of,
We're very happy to have armed school security officers. And these armed school security officers supplement these other security ideas that we implement. For example, an SRO. And there is a difference. There's a difference between an SRO and an SSO. And that's why I have both of them here today. So the students can understand, and so parents can understand what is an SSO, an armed school security officer, and what is an SRO, a school resource officer.
So, Chief, could we kind of start off with exactly what is that? What's the difference?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to get into that, and I'll introduce both of them to give you an idea of what they do on a daily basis. Obviously, our SRO is a sworn officer. The officer does so many things within the school. Officer Science in the high school, and she is just that, a resource officer. So she works with the administration, she works with the children, she handles so many different security issues. And Officer Cyan, can you give the community an idea of what you do on a daily basis?
Sure. First thing in the morning, come in, we do traffic, greet the parents in the front, make sure the Demery Road doesn't back up. After assistance with the traffic, we go inside, make sure the
Yes.
building is secure, everybody's in and safe. Once the doors are checked, they're secure. I touch base with the admin staff with anything they need today, because we're part of liaison for them and a resource for them. Anything they need, I'm always there. They can come to me, and then I start the interaction with the guidance, make sure they know anything they need. If they want me to just talk to anybody who's having a bad day, just a resource available. And then I'm in the hallways speaking with the students, just getting to know them. I know this year we've gotten a lot of students that are not from this town, so I'm getting to know those students and then just making them feel comfortable with our town, and having conversation with them, letting them know where my office is located, if they just want to have like a private conversation or want to know about the law. So it's just a resource another resource addition to the school that is available.
I think an important point she made is making the school environment safe. So if it's a safe environment, children can feel comfortable, and it's probably a better learning environment. So they're both excellent role models within the school system, for sure.
And I know, Officer, too, another thing that I would think is maybe there's some of our citizenry, especially our younger students, that maybe never had an interaction with law enforcement.
Yes.
And you're being really the first interaction that they do have.
Right. That is why I want to make sure that they have a positive interaction and they see us as something positive that they can come to and feel comfortable, not be afraid that, we're only there as enforcement or anything.
Awesome. Ray Lillis says to say hello to everybody.
Hi,
So
Ray.
Ray, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate that. My daughter Jordan says to say hi to everybody. Great
Hello,
communication.
Jordan.
Thank
How are
you,
you?
Jay. Appreciate you tuning in. And Chief, so we talked a little bit about what the SRO is.
Yes.
And now we have another tool in our toolkit, so to speak, and that would be our
Yes, so
Armed-
armed school security officers. And Mayor, we've been talking about this for years.
Absolutely.
And we brought this program to fruition. And I do want to give thanks also to the Board of Education. They were instrumental, as is the superintendent, in
Sure
moving
were.
this program forward. The town council also very supportive. So it's been a program that's been in the works. Our armed school security officers are all prior police officers. Officer Guy, as the children call you, was a New Milford officer, and we were very happy when he agreed to be one of our armed school security officers. He's one of our, he is our lead in this program, and we're very happy to have him in the Sarah Noble School. Could you tell us a little bit about what your day entails?
Sure. Similar to Officer Cyan, excuse me, doing traffic in the morning is a high priority with the buses and the, since COVID, a lot more people are driving their children to school, so making sure the buses and the cars get in and out safely. Obviously, when that's over, I check the doors, the interior, make sure the people who are in the building who should be there, if there's an outside contractor, making sure I know who they are. Really just checking, making sure things are where they should be. There's nothing out of place. Spending time with the children in the cafeteria. I'm pretty mobile while I'm in there, so I don't sit down at the desk much, so I tend to be moving around the building a lot. Like to do a lot of high visibility so the children see me, the teachers see me, and they feel safe.
Officer Guy, I got to tell you, I was at the Methodist Church today for an after-school program, and one of the children approached me and was so excited that she met Officer Guy today. So
That's great.
Yeah.
She said Officer Guy was in the classroom, and just such a positive reaction from her. That's just what we're looking for from both of you.
And Chief, we have a question from Caitlin. She says, hi, everyone. Thank you to the Milford Police Department for everything you do. Are these armed security guards at all the schools in New Milford?
Yes, they are, and that is something we're most proud of. We have recently hired 3 new school security officers, and that brings our staffing up to 5 armed school security officers, so there is one in each of our schools. Very proud to be able to say that.
And I know we can't get into too much because of security, but of all of our armed security officers, all of them have extensive law enforcement experience.
Yes, that's correct. We're very careful in who we have hired. We vetted them carefully. We provided them with some good training, and I feel very comfortable with their experience.
And Captain, not only do we want our children to be safe when they're in school, but also we want them to be safe when they're on the bus. So if we could kind of give tips to some of our residents as for, when the red lights are on the bus, when do you need to stop, and when can you actually go through where the red lights are?
Great point, Mr. Mayor. We're all about school safety on and off campus for all the students in the school zones, and like the mayor said, at the bus stops when the bus is actually stopped, the red lights are flashing. So this week specifically, we have extra patrol officers on the campus of each school that are going to be helping doing traffic because it's confusing. New kids, new school, drop-off points, everything looks just a little bit different. So that's what we're doing for the on-campus portion to make sure that when those lights are flashing, people are stopping. In addition to that, we also want to make sure that students are safe getting on and off the bus. So just as a gentle reminder for the public, because there have been less school buses in the last 2 years, and some school buses have not been needed in the numbers that they are this year, we're sending out additional patrols, both motorcycle and MARC units that are going to be out there for advisement, consent, and enforcement when required. Typically speaking, if you see that school bus with the lights flashing, you have to stop. Okay, you have to stop. And it's different on the bottom end of Super 7, where it's a divided highway. That's a different situation, but that changes drastically as you get farther north up Route 7, and you just have a double yellow line in between. That double yellow line still means you need to stop in all directions.
Outstanding. Caitlin wanted to respond. She would say, this is amazing. She's so grateful for
Thank
this.
you very much.
Proud to serve.
Appreciate it.
And let's see, Katasha, I hope I said it right. She says, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much to the New Milford Police Department for making us parents feel safe with having our kids go to school.
And that's a big part of what we're doing tonight and a big part of what we're doing in the first week of school. We want you to know that we're committed to the safety of the schools. Your children are so important to us. The safety of our children in this community are a main priority of mine and our police department and mayor. We can't have a higher priority than protecting our children.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, Chief, for those, not only do we have schools, but we also have childcare facilities.
Yes.
So I know one of the priorities has been, that we've talked about many times, is making sure that some of these childcare centers on some of our high trafficked areas,
Yes.
that, and the buses do stop there to pick up kids and drop them off. I mean, I know we're really looking to enforce those speeding
Yes.
limits, especially in those areas.
Yes, so as the captain mentioned, we are increasing our traffic enforcement in school zones, but also these areas of high priority. So school bus stops on Route 7 are one of those high priorities. I was at the Methodist Church this afternoon observing the school bus stop and speaking to the staff at the school about the school bus stop. So we know those areas, and we're going to deploy our officers into those areas.
Excellent. And, Captain, as it's a whole arching effect of keeping our kids safe. Another one is obviously kids, mine too, like to use the computer a lot, like to use their cell phone a lot. And that can lead to, whether it be bullying someone or whether it could be being hacked. I know that I think we had one of our detectives on, I believe,
Yes.
Chief, had to have been 6-8 months ago, so we were talking about
Yes.
really focusing on that too. Is that also a priority?
Absolutely a priority. There's a few things we're doing this year to address that. And one of the things also, it's not just bullying. We have staff on hand. We have SROs at the high schools. We have other police officers. We have police officers who have been involved in anti-bullying campaigns throughout the town that are there to help. But also, you brought up a great point there about just kids are looking at their phones. So a little bit of a safety reminder, you're at the bus stop, you're looking at the phone. Crossing the street, you're looking at the phone. Keep your head up because you're going to be crossing streets and sidewalks, and there are cars out there that may not see you, so you need to be aware of your environment as well.
Absolutely. Chief?
It is a team effort. Like we started with this evening, it's a team effort between us at the police department, the mayor's office, the school system, and our parents. So we want you to know that we're here for you. If you have any concerns, there's no one of us smarter than all of us. So we're looking forward to a good, safe school year.
I know, Chief, what I thought is, we talked about in the first segment when we had a Board of Ed partners here, is just the collaboration.
Yes.
I know they speak to you regularly, and I know, they were the ones that also decided that this is the way to go.
Yes.
Make sure our kids are safe. So I can't thank, you know, the administration and the Board of Ed enough for,
Yes,
you know,
the communication's been unbelievable.
that's great. That's great. And Officer, high school's open now. So I'm going to ask you kind of the same thing that I asked the superintendent, and Wendy, our Board of Ed chair. So what are some of the kind of things that you would recommend for now our freshmen that have come into the high school to kind of get more assimilated into the school?
I'm gonna say it's a little changed once you come into the high school than you're in the middle school. It's a little bit more independence. You get to select your own classes. You're on your own. You're not being monitored as much. And then also, it's a big school, and you can reach out to other students that are at the higher grades, and they're kind of mentors there for the students. And then you have a lot more resources as well, where the freshmen, if they feel like they don't know anything or they're not comfortable with something, they can reach out to the teachers or the administration down there, and they're constantly, everybody's around. So, you know, it's an anxiety for them because obviously it's a bigger school.
Right.
But we're all out there trying to make them feel comfortable and constantly helping them. And they can always reach out to me. I'm always standing in the hallways around if they need anything.
Outstanding. And, you know, Chief, one of the things under your leadership, we started the Milford Cadets.
Yes.
So if I'm a youngster right now, I'm in school, and, you know, this kind of seemed interesting to me. I
Yes.
want to get more involved. How do I go about learning more about being a cadet?
We happen to have one of our cadet advisors here with us
exactly.
tonight.
Yep.
So Officer Cyan is one of our cadet advisors. And the cadets are doing an excellent job within the community service, learning about leadership. You know, they're just getting involved in so much that includes teamwork. So there's a lot of interesting exercises. Officer Cyan, can you talk about some of the interesting things the cadets have done? I know they've learned how to make motor vehicle stops, for
Right.
example.
We do various things. I mean, first of all, the cadet program is a leadership program. It's a confidence builder. So, and it's a connection for kids that feel like they don't have friends to connect with good role models, to connect with a group that is willing to help their community and be there for their community. And it's kind of like a guidance that we provide, and then it makes them, once we lead them a little bit, but it makes them independent. Now they're making their own decisions. They're doing their own thing. They're building their own skill set, organizing their events. And then the other ones who have been there over a year will guide the ones that come in. So it's kind of like we're kind of making them independent. So preparing them for college, we offer scholarships to our cadets and get them ready with anything they need. I am constantly recruiting the freshmen. As soon as they come in, I say, come and join our cadet program. Like I said, we do, as far as the police is concerned, we do motor vehicle stops, we've done crime scenes, we've certified them with CPR. We do a lot of, teach them how to recruit, how to make flyers. So they're doing a variety of things. It's not something just police related, that's the only, but also community based.
Amazing, amazing. And on top of that, Captain, right, not only do we have the cadets, but now we have third class of...
Yes, the Citizen Police Academy, and we're very excited about starting that class this month. If anybody is interested, we still have some spots left. The Citizen Police Academy is a 9-week program. We meet once a week for 2 hours, and we cover a variety of topics. There'll be a canine presentation and a forensics presentation, and an organization called Jane Doe No More comes in and talks about sexual assaults. And it's just a very interesting program that gives you a behind-the-scenes look at what police officers deal with on a daily basis, and it also lets you learn that police officers are people too, people just like you.
You know, Chief, also, lots of people want to meet Ella,
Of course, there's...
your new police dog. I see that time and again when they're out. Another
Yes.
thing you guys do, Captain, is have either coffee or ice cream with a cop.
Absolutely.
We had it over at Tasty Waves, and I saw that they brought Ella towards the end, and
Yes.
she was
so-
quite a hit.
As always, and we're looking forward to doing more of those events. Other businesses, other opportunities to meet police officers, and not just the same police officers that you see every day. You often forget that there's 3 shifts out there. We have midnight folks, which most of the community never sees. We have officers who are on the afternoon shift they may never see because the kids are back home from school. So we're getting the opportunity to get all our officers out there. And I think it's important for all of us to see who's working for the community.
And
Absolutely.
Mayor, coffee with a cop, ice cream with a cop, you may see taco with a cop, or even pizza with a cop.
There we go.
We're gonna
Okay, I'm
expand
liking
this.
that. Okay.
And I do want to say our K-9 team is an unbelievable team. K-9 Mattis is a big part of that, as is K-9 Ella, and they both do an excellent job in community policing and in the practical operations of the PD.
Absolutely. And, circling back real quick to our armed security officers.
Yes.
So, as our SRO, kids should feel comfortable by being able to go up and talk to
Yes.
them. For our armed security, can they still do that as well?
Yes, we want that exact same approachable person. Officer Guy is very approachable. That's what
Yes, he is.
That's what I expect. Friendly, polite, approachable, professional is what we expect, and we hope, as a matter of fact, that our children and the staff in the schools will approach and talk with our SSOs.
And then using, Officer Guy, using your past experience, I mean, obviously that's, one of the reasons why I know the chief, when we were bringing in armed security officers, that's one of the reasons why we chose who we chose, correct, chief?
Exactly. I mean, there is a reason we chose the people we picked, and it has to do with their demeanor, their capabilities, and all of that is a package. You can't have one without the other and be successful in that position.
And Barry and Mary, they said good evening. Chief, officers, and all
Hello.
in Milford, thank you, Chief Ceruto, and the officers for all you do. Very much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
And lastly, and I'll have whoever wants to take this. So we have our, as Wendy Fallback was saying, we have our new drivers that are coming in to the high school. So our junior class, they'll be getting their licenses.
Yes.
What's some tips that we can give these young drivers, mine included,
Okay.
right? To make sure they're safe as they go from their home to the high school, to their job, their sports.
Yes.
What can we say about that?
One phrase, put the phone down.
There we go. Okay.
I would just say know your driving rules. There's restrictions, abide by them, because you don't want to lose your license if you're violating any of the restrictions.
Absolutely.
Slow down. You're a new driver. You don't have the skill set yet. Once you're comfortable, once you've been driving for years, then you'll know the rules. Then you can be a little bit more comfortable. Just slow down. That's what I would say, and pay attention when you're driving. And that's all I have to say. And it's great to drive and behind and be independent, but be responsible with the independence.
Officer Guy?
Well, I would say for the parents, having gone through this twice already myself, there are some fantastic apps out there that will tell you every time the child picks up the phone, speeds, you know exactly where they are. They are not adults, you are able to track them. So I would definitely say look at them. I'm not going to advertise for an app, but look into it. There are apps out there that could give you every time the child picks up the phone, text while driving, call while driving, and it's valuable information to have when they get home and you say, so you were driving 52 miles an hour in a 40-mile-an-hour zone, and you were texting at the same time. No, I wasn't. Yes, you were. So that would be my advice to the parents.
Outstanding. Chief?
I would have to agree. In all the accidents that we see, especially with the younger drivers, it's texting or inattentiveness. Speeding is many times a factor. And if you can just be more attentive, slow it down, I think you'll be a much safer driver.
Awesome. Well, Chief, Captain, Officer, Armed Security Officer Guy, I want to thank you guys so much for coming in.
Thank you for
I know
doing this.
busy, but I think this was great to just reassure, especially beginning of the school year, we take safety extremely seriously,
Yes.
as our children are really our most precious
There's no greater
resource we have.
Yes, no greater priority.
Absolutely. And just want to thank you guys for coming in again. And Officer and Armed Security Officer Guy, if your student, if you're a parent, your student feels, let them talk to our officers. They're here to serve. They're here to be here. They want to be here. Can't thank you guys enough for being in our schools. Captain, thank you. Chief, Thank you.
Very
And
welcome.
everybody, thank you for tuning in. Mike, thank you. And again, guys, New Milford proud, New Milford strong. See you again next time.
Good night, everyone.